A final song can either mark a rapper's bittersweet retirement or a tragic death, but with that usually comes a legacy forever cemented as a legend. From Tupac to Childish Gambino, here are 6 rappers who experienced just that, starting with the notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls is considered one of the greatest rappers of 90s hip-hop, even though he only released a single album during his time with Ready to Die in 1994. Biggie's rising career showed promise, and his album quickly gained popularity, racking up over 6 million sales. The album is praised for its unique storytelling, with fans calling it a cinematic experience, and describing him as one of the best lyricists in the rap game. While thriving on his growing fame, he released the single Hypnotize on March 4th, 1997. After the song's release, it pushed his career even further, cementing his place in the rap industry as a dominant figure, with people calling him the greatest, praising his lyrical aesthetic, and his way of painting a picture in your mind with words. And with what seemed like everything ahead of him, Biggie stepped into his studio on March 8th, 1997, recording what no one knew would be his final track. Just hours after recording Victory with P. Diddy, in the early hours of March 9th, 1997, the notorious B.I.G. left an LA after party in a GMC Suburban. Unknowingly, another car had been following, and moments later at a red light, the assailant struck.
The death of rapper Notorious B.I.G., otherwise known as Biggie Smalls, is causing quite a stir among his fans and fellow rappers. He was killed yesterday in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles.
His death hit hard, with his influence in hip-hop still being felt today. 24 years old. He's like this legend to everyone. I'm older than that now, crazy to think about. Weeks after his passing, the Notorious B.I.G.'s second album, Life After Death, was released on March 25th, 1997, a title that now felt way too real. Expectedly, it blew up and was well received by fans, eventually becoming his best-selling project of all time, with over 6.8 million units sold. It was Biggie at his peak, even if he wasn't around to witness it. Fans would go on to call it the best posthumous album of all time, or easily a top 5 rap album of all time. Although the Notorious B.I.G.'s life was cut short, his legacy and influence continue to grow today. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj's final song took her in a different direction. Nicki has been dominating the charts for decades, becoming the only female rapper to cross 100 million total units sold and boasting 46 million monthly listeners on Spotify. But things took an unexpected turn at her peak. On September 5th, 2019, she surprised fans with a tweet saying, "I've decided to retire and have my family." This surprised a lot of people and drew mixed reactions from fans, with some being able to support her, while others struggled to fully accept her decision. After posting her tweet, she later deleted it and apologized to her fans, saying that the tweet was abrupt and insensitive. A month later, she clarified her retirement tweet in an interview with The Shade Room.
When I posted that retirement tweet, I knew that I still had music that I already had recorded that was still gonna come out. So the retirement was kind of talking about like my album, like meaning like, do I want to go back and record my 5th album? That's what I was talking about. But I knew that, of course, features, I always get asked to do features, and I like features. So it was really about...
Nicki explained that her tweets about retiring was more about taking a pause or expressing uncertainty about releasing new music. However, despite the retirement talk, she continued to drop her 5th studio album, Pink Friday 2, in 2023, selling over 228,000 units in its first week, making her the first female rapper to have the most #1 albums. But since then, nothing else has come out. Nicki Minaj's surprise retirement may have shocked fans, but while fans hold out hope for her return, this next rapper's last song caused more heartbreak than anyone could ever imagine. Growing up in Crenshaw, California, a neighborhood shaped by poverty and gang culture, Nipsey Hussle drew inspiration from his environment. He wasn't your average rapper. The first thing that sticks out when you listen to his music is realness. It was just raw, pure from the heart. And on top of that, Nipsey was a philanthropist and entrepreneur. Rapping was his hustle, but he was beyond that. And he proved that in 2013 when he made headlines for selling all 1,000 copies of his CD mixtape Crenshaw at $100 each, with Jay-Z famously purchasing 100 of them and earning Nipsey $100,000 in a single day. Bold moves like this carried throughout his life, as he used his success to give back to the community by launching a youth STEM center for science and technology in the Crenshaw district.
We recently opened up inner city co-work space in the vein of WeWork for local entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? And we got I think 8 entrepreneurs that all have products in the tech space that are in the building with us. And we also have a science, technology, engineering, and math center on the second level for young kids to be able to get trained in the skill set that it takes to get into.
A year later, Nipsey collaborated with Roddy Ricch and released a song, Racks in the Middle, on February 15th, 2019. However, it didn't become an instant hit, barely reaching 2 million views on YouTube weeks after its release. The song was so overlooked that not many people talked about it, and even rap discussions barely acknowledged its release. Sadly, no one knew that this would be the final song Nipsey Hussle ever released. Only a month later, on March 31st, 2019, while in LA visiting his clothing store, he was approached by someone whom he had been friends with in the past. After a brief conversation, the man reportedly accused Nipsey of snitching, then moments later,
rapper Nipsey Hussle gunned down in Los Angeles. Paramedics work frantically to keep him alive. Bystanders are in shock.
Despite efforts to save him, 10 bullets would eventually kill him at the age of 33. This is crazy. This will impact an entire community. My condolences to his friends and family. He did not deserve this. Even celebrities outside of rap expressed their heartbreak, like NBA star Steph Curry.
Yeah, that was tough. Obviously, it surprised a lot of people about who he was as a person, what he stood for, what his message was, how he tried to inspire people, considering where he grew up and how he turned that into something extremely powerful.
Fast forward to 2020, his song Racks in the Middle that initially flopped would go on to win a Grammy and eventually garnered 219 million views on YouTube, growing into something far more meaningful over time. You may have killed Nipsey, but you can't kill a legend that left a beautiful name. So what started as just another song became a powerful reminder of who he was: real, driven, and full of purpose. And while Nipsey's last moments were seen as heartbreaking, Donald Glover ended his rap journey with a more intentional decision. More famously known as Childish Gambino, a name he got from the Wu-Tang Clan name generator, he first got his mainstream success after the hit release of My Love in 2016, which became his best-selling album to date, gaining over 2.9 billion streams total. And now at the height of his career, Gambino made an unexpected announcement at the end of a 2017 concert performance.
I'll see you for the last Gambino album.
Despite this, he returned in 2018 with one of the most powerful songs, This Is America, addressing racism and gun violence in the US, sparking news headlines, YouTube reactions, and buzz through many online forums. Following that, he dropped At Vista, before finally dropping his final album, Bando Stone and the New World, in July 2024. This wasn't just an album, it served as the soundtrack for his upcoming film of the same name, giving fans one last memorable experience before finally retiring as Childish Gambino. Just finished First Listen jumps from the best Gambino song you've ever heard to just pure chaos. If this is really the end, I'm thankful for Childish Gambino and the impact his music has had on me. Thank you. Luckily, he stated that he'll be making a comeback and releasing music as Donald Glover. While the last list of songs released by Childish Gambino was really just the end of a stage name, Tupac Shakur's last song marked the tragic end to his life. Known for his violent and thug life style of rapping, Tupac was one of the most dominant figures of hip-hop during the 90s. After signing with Death Row Records in 1995, he dropped All Eyes on Me the following year, which became a massive hit, selling 556,000 copies in its first week. But one of the most memorable moments in his career came with the release of Hit 'Em Up in June 1996, a brutal diss track aimed directly at the notorious B.I.G. Tupac didn't hold back and took things personal, making it the only diss track in history to surpass 800 million streams. After the diss, Tupac remained more popular than ever and kept working on music. On September 6th, 1996, he recorded what would be his final song, Let's Get It On, Ready to Rumble, as a walkout song for Mike Tyson. A day after recording, Tupac flew to Vegas on September 7th, 1996 to watch a Mike Tyson championship match. Unfortunately, that same night after the match, while riding through Las Vegas, Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by at a red light. And after 6 days in the hospital, he passed away on September 13th at just 25 years old, sending shock throughout the world. I remember where I was the moment they announced it. It was surreal. Born and raised in LA County, and you could feel the sadness throughout the city. City. All Eyes on Me was playing heavily in the streets. I grew up in New York City, and we still felt it, along with other famous rappers retelling their reactions.
I heard that Tupac died. I was cooking in a restaurant. It was a sports bar, so there was a big TV screen, and we all just kind of watched it, just like, you know, just dazed.
I was at Warren G's house. In the living room. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit.
5 days after his death, the music video for Tupac's final single off the album, I Ain't Mad At Ya, was released. Filmed weeks before he died, the video eerily depicts Tupac being shot, foreshadowing the tragic reality that would soon unfold. The video now sits at over 23 million views on YouTube, and the track itself has pulled in more than 120 million streams on Spotify. Beyond that, Tupac's legacy lives on through posthumous releases, including the 7 Day Theory, dropped 2 months after his death, which sold over 664,000 copies in its first week and went on to become one of his most popular albums of all time. His influence on the industry remains a lasting testament to the respect he earned. In 2017, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, with Snoop Dogg delivering a powerful tribute in his honor.
I'm not talking about Pac the rapper, I'm not talking about Tupac the actor, I'm talking about Tupac the human being. So with that said, we'd all like to officially welcome Tupac Shakur into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And later in June 2023, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, accepted on behalf by his sister.
Today we're not just honoring a star on the ground, but we're honoring the work. His heavenly star will shine a little brighter today. And once again, he has made us all extremely proud. We love you, Tupac.
Tupac's last song led to a devastating end, but despite his death, he remained a legendary figure in hip-hop who continues to inspire future rappers for generations to come. Now, if you'd like to support me, please hit the subscribe button and feel free to watch my newest upload here.